All right, so we are going to get started into a new segment following this video, which is a deep dive into the differences between 90 decibels, which is kind of typical for a stock disc horn on a motorcycle, and 120 decibels on the Denali Sound Bomb.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Thank you.
Ever stop and think how sound itself, something so common, could actually be dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
Or how numbers, the ones we hear thrown around, sometimes hide what's really going on.
Yeah, they definitely can.
So today, that's our deep dive. We're looking at the difference between 90 decibels, 90 dB, and 120 dB.
Right.
And what that really means for your hearing, because it's maybe not what you think.
It's so important, too, because 120 dB, it's not just, 30 points higher than 90 dB.
Right, not just simple math.
Not at all. The risk level's just profoundly higher. Understanding the decibel scale, how it works, is key. It's logarithmic, you see.
Logarithmic. Okay, so that's not like climbing stairs one step at a time, right? It's different.
Right.
How much more intense is 120 dB compared to 90?
Yeah, exactly. Not linear at all. And the difference is staggering, honestly.
Wow.
Well, 120 dB might only sound about, say, 8 times louder to our ears.
Okay, 8 times louder. Seems like a lot, but...
But the actual physical intensity, it's 1,000 times more intense than 90 dB.
Whoa. Okay, 1,000. That's huge.
It's mind-bending, right?
Right.
And that gap, that huge difference between the physical reality and what we perceive, that's where the danger lies. We just don't realize how risky it is.
So we misjudge it. Badly. Okay, let's ground this. 90 dB. What kind of sounds are we talking about in everyday life?
We're talking about pretty common things, actually, like a hairdryer.
Okay.
Or a lawnmower going outside. Even just loud shouting, maybe in a busy street or a high school band practice.
Right, things you might encounter pretty often.
Exactly. And the tricky part, the sort of insidious thing, is that it doesn't usually feel like it's causing immediate harm. But it is. It's slowly kind of chipping away at the delicate hair cells inside your inner ear.
And those don't grow back, right? That's the crucial part.
There's the absolute critical piece. Once they're damaged, they're gone for good. So prolonged exposure leads to what's called noise-induced hearing loss, or NIHL.
NIHL.
Well, you might notice temporary things first, like your hearing feels muffled after loud noise, or maybe tinnitus, that ringing or buzzing sound.
That ringing, yeah.
But it's not just ears either. Chronic noise like this can also push up your blood pressure, increase heart rate, add to stress, anxiety, even mess with your sleep.
Wow, okay, so it's systemic almost. Now, you mentioned prolonged exposure. What about safe exposure times for 90 dBs? I've heard different things.
You're right. The recommendations do vary quite a bit. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, they set the limit at 8 hours for 90 dBA.
TBA. What's the A?
Oh, right. The A just means A-weighted. It's basically filtered to mimic how the human ear actually perceives loudness at different frequencies. It makes it more relevant to our hearing.
Got it. So OSHA says 8 hours.
Yes. But NIOSH, that's the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, and the World Health Organization, they're much more cautious.
Okay.
Their recommendation for 90 dBA is only 2 hours.
2 hours. That's a huge difference from 8.
It really is. And it means that even if you're following, say, the less strict standard, you could still be accumulating significant hearing damage over time. It's like that slow erosion we talked about. You don't see the problem until it's too late.
Okay, so 90 dB is the slow burn, the cumulative risk. What happens when we jump to 120 dB? That sounds like a completely different category of danger.
It absolutely is. At 120 dB, we're talking about levels at or very near the human threshold of pain.
Pain threshold, okay.
Yeah. Your ear isn't just hearing sound. It's basically trying to defend itself against a physical assault. Exposure here can cause immediate acoustic trauma, irreversible damage.
Immediately.
Yes. We're talking sounds like thunderclaps right overhead, peak levels right near the speakers at a rock concert, a jet engine during takeoff.
Chainsaws, too, I imagine. Ambulance sirens up close.
Definitely. Chainsaws, sirens, even gunshots, things that are incredibly loud, very suddenly. Even just a few seconds at this level can cause permanent damage. Because, again,
those hair cells don't grow back.
They just don't. Damage is permanent.
So for 120 dB, is there any safe exposure time?
Good.
Seconds? Minutes?
Honestly, for all practical purposes, no safe exposure time. 0 minutes.
0.
The guidelines often suggest maybe mere seconds, like around 7 to 9 seconds maximum. But really, it's an immediate danger zone. OSHA actually prohibits any continuous workplace noise above 115 dBA.
Which is
Wow.
telling, right? It underlines just how dangerous anything getting close to 120 dB really is.
Exactly. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't
Yeah.
it? How casually we might treat loud sounds sometimes.
Yeah, it does. So, summarizing this difference, it's not just louder. 90 is chronic cumulative damage over hours,
Right.
while 120 is acute immediate trauma in seconds.
Precisely. That's the core distinction. It's a completely different kind of risk.
And that demands a whole different mindset about protection, I guess.
Absolutely. You shift from thinking about, how long can I be exposed to how do I get immediate maximum protection right now? It's a total shift.
Okay, so knowing this, let's make it practical for everyone listening. What can you actually do to protect your hearing? What are the key steps?
Well, it really boils down to thinking about three things. Controlling the loudness, the duration, and your proximity, how close you are to the sound.
Okay, loudness, duration, proximity.
So, for personal devices, like your phone or music player, a good rule of thumb is the 60-60 rule, no more than 60% volume for no more than 60 minutes, or just generally aim to keep it below 80, maybe 85 dBA if you can measure it.
Use noise-canceling headphones, maybe, so you don't crank the volume?
That's a great point. They help reduce the background noise, so you're less tempted to turn your music up just to hear it, and, crucially, use hearing protection consistently.
Like earplugs, earmuffs?
Exactly. Wear them in any really noisy environment. Concerts are a big one. Loud workplaces, obviously. Using power tools, lawnmowers, even things like gun ranges. Be consistent.
And what about those signs you mentioned earlier, like muffled hearing or ringing?
If you notice those things after being around loud noise, even if they go away, that means some damage has likely already occurred.
So it's a warning sign that it's already happening.
Yes. Which really underscores the point. Prevention is everything. It's truly the only effective way to deal with noise-induced hearing loss. You have to protect what you have.
So this deep dive, it really isn't just about decibels and numbers, is it? It's about protecting something incredibly vital, something that affects your quality of life every single day.
It really is.
Mhm.
And because NIHL is so insidious, because it creeps up on you, it's become this kind of silent but huge public health issue. It needs proactive attention from all of us,
Absolutely. So let's leave you with this thought. Considering what you've just heard about the real power and the real danger of sound, what steps will you take starting today to safeguard your hearing?